Okay, let me go ahead and get folks checked in here. I see we have a Michael Flam. Mr. Flam, could you just confirm that that's your actual name and also let me know who you're representing here today?
Yes, I am Michael Flam. I'm representing myself. I live next door to Daniel at 1122 Paxton.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for being here. We have someone under the name Mary.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Mary. Could you give me your full name and who you're representing here today?
My name's Mary Kenkel, and I represent me and my husband.
Okay, great. Are you adjacent property owners?
We're across the street.
Okay, great. And could you spell your last name for me?
Kenkel.
Okay. And do you intend on providing any testimony here today?
No, probably not. I mean,
Okay.
I might have a comment, but I don't know if you call that testimony.
Yeah, I would for this case. I mean, you're welcome to just observe if you would like, but the reason I ask is because if you do want to provide comment, testimony, ask questions, really do anything other than just strictly observe, then I'll need you to activate your camera. But if you're just going to observe, that's fine as well. But if you do want to provide some testimony, I ask that people are on camera when they do that.
Okay. If
Okay.
I do, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. That's perfectly fine. Daniel Carroll,
Yep.
welcome. Or D Car, I assuming that's Daniel Carroll.
Upload like that.
No problem. Um, you are the owner and applicant on this, correct?
Correct.
All right, great. Welcome. Are you expecting anyone else, Mr. Carroll, on the owner applicant side to be joining us here today?
No.
Okay, fantastic. We also have Matt Lashide from our zoning department here, city. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, David. Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I need to read through our hearing script. This will basically just cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we'll get into it. So this is the November 8th, 2023 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Sturkey. Again, I'll be presiding over the hearing. The case before us is case number ZH20230159. That's 1120 Paxton Avenue. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any potential opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant's attorney or agent will first present the applicant's case. If members of the public will then have an opportunity, if they would like to speak after the applicant has presented its case, I'll allow Mr. Lashide from the zoning department to provide any testimony in addition to his staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony or argument that was offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing remarks. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly. To the extent there is some defect that prevents us from me fully going forward with this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, last thing I need to do is just to swear in all of our witnesses. So again, if you intend on providing testimony and to Ms. Kinkle, I can always swear you in later since you're not certain. But if you know now that you'd like to provide some testimony, I'm going to go ahead and collectively swear in all of our witnesses together. The zoning code requires it. So if that's you, if you could raise your right hand, I need everyone to answer out loud. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I'll need Ms.
do.
Kinkle and Mr. Lashide. There we go. Ms. Kinkle, if you could unmute, I'll just need you to answer out loud.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. Let's go ahead and I'll throw you back on mute, Ms. Kinkle. Let's go ahead and get going here. Mr. Carroll, are you ready to begin? Or ready to proceed?
Sure. Yeah. So I am requesting a side setback variance of 1 foot 6 inches on the north side of my property. Currently, my house has a sunroom that is already over the setback line, and the sunroom was not constructed properly. The supporting columns do not have cement footers supporting it, and as such, it's slowly sinking into the ground and falling off the back. So I am planning on removing that and adding an addition to match that same line on the north side, as well as to be built within the exact same lines of my house's footprint. Currently under the zoning code, the single family 6,000 square foot lots, it allows for a 716 side setback, which for my property, it exceeds the single family 6,000 square foot lot area requirement in depth, but is significantly narrower than other properties surrounding in terms of width. Using the allowed side setbacks, I am permitted to build the addition as it's drawn. It would just be shifted over a couple of feet, which would be aesthetically unattractive to me and all of my neighbors, as it would be more visible from the street, as it would stick out and block over the driveway.
So you could build the addition within the confines of the zoning code, but it would be impractical because it would not be in line with the existing side facades of the home. Is that right?
Right. I'm trying to build the addition in line with the existing structure of the home, which architecturally it looks more pleasing, as well as financially in terms of building out that addition. Having to shift it over would cause a lot more issues down the road, because when you get into those little spaces where there's like a 6-inch exterior wall, that's difficult to insulate and air seal. And since there's already an existing sunroom over that setback line, I was just looking to replace that with an addition.
Sure. How much further will the two-story addition extend beyond the sort of the rear,
The sunroom as it is now.
Sunroom, yeah. Like how much further?
I believe it's 6 feet further than the sunroom.
Okay. Got it. All right. You know when your home was built? Generally, ballpark, was it before 2004?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
I think it's from 1938, if I may.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Carroll, anything else?
Nope. I appreciate everyone taking the time to hop on a Zoom call and give their feedback.
Okay, great. Let's go over to the public now. Mr. Flam, I'll start with you.
All right. I had a few questions and concerns about this project when I first heard about it, but I got to say that in talking with Matt over the course of the last week on the telephone, he cleared up everything that I was wondering about. And as long as this extension or expansion of Daniel's house goes along the line of the current structure, I don't really feel that I have anything that I need to object to. So I want to thank Matt for helping me out, and I wish Daniel good luck with his project. I think I'm going to end up being jealous. Our houses are very similar in on the blueprints, and I think he's going to end up with a nice spot, nice space. So
awesome. All right, great. Thanks, Mr. Flam. I really appreciate it.
May I say one other thing?
Yeah,
please.
Sure.
I just want to confirm out loud that granting this variance doesn't in any way change the actual agreed upon property lines. Nothing like that happens.
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing. No, this is simply just going to allow the side setback to the side setback regulations to be excused for just this project, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So allowing the distance of that house, that addition, to get a little bit closer to the property line than would otherwise be allowed.
Right. That was my understanding, but I'd like to hear it out loud again. So
sure.
Thanks.
Yep. Absolutely. And thank you for being here. I appreciate having the on the ground neighbor perspective. That's very helpful for me as I work through these. Mary, now would be the time if you did want to add anything.
No, I mean, if it's just in the current footprint, I don't see a problem. So I'm cool. I was just here to listen.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it will extend slightly beyond what the current footprint of the home is, but it will extend the existing non-conforming side setbacks.
Yes. Okay. That seems fair. And it sounds
Okay.
like fun.
All right, great. Again, thank you so much, Ms. Kinkle, for being here and providing your input. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And thanks for hopping on camera for us. Mr. Lashide.
Hi, thanks, David. Well, Ms. Kinkle, I'm glad to hear you think side setback variances are fun because I get to deal with them every day. I may
Maybe
not agree with you on
primary.
that, but yeah. And thank you, Mr. Flam, for your, we had a couple good conversations over the last
Yeah.
week, and I appreciate that. And I was able to see, I looked through the application materials a little bit more, and Mr. Carroll did submit a survey that was done earlier this year of the property confirming that current 5.5 side yard setback. So I feel pretty confident that the dimensions displayed here are accurate. So with that, staff reviewed this, looked through it. The existing condition is that the lot is narrower than the zoning code would currently permit in the SF6 district. And within that lot, the building goes into the setback that would be required now. The building, as the neighbor, Mr. Flam, correctly stated, was built in 1938. The zoning code was updated in 2004, as is the case with a lot of homes in Hyde Park, Mount Lookout, Oakley area. That SF6 designation really does not reflect the built environment and creates unnecessary hardship for property owners when they want to expand. We've had several cases like this. They're not proposing to make the building extend into the setback any further. They're just replacing it and making it a little bit deeper. But I don't feel that that would have any negative impacts on adjacent property owners. And like I said, the current zoning doesn't necessarily reflect what's there. If the property were zoned SF4, which would more accurately reflect the size of the lot, then they would not even need this variance. So I think it's because of some sort of undue hardship where the lot is smaller than the zoning district would require. So with all that, staff recommends approval of the variance and happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that and appreciate your work on the staff report here.
Oh, David, can I add one more note?
Yeah, absolutely.
I put a comment at the end of our staff report. Mr. Carroll, if this is approved, your lot has several different old parcels in it. So you'll need to consolidate those through the Hamilton County Auditor before you can get a building permit to build a new addition that may cross an old property line.
If the new addition falls within that main property line where the current structure is, do I still need to do that?
Yeah, your parcels are tax consolidated, which means that you only pay one tax bill. But it looks like when this area was platted 100 or 200 years ago, they actually had smaller properties, and your property is the result of a few old properties being combined for tax purposes, but there are still property lines running through the middle of your area.
Okay, that's
It's kind of
no
hard to
problem.
explain it, but I put a note at the end of the staff report, and we can help you with that if you have any questions, but you'll need to consolidate those through the Hamilton County Auditor before
Yep,
you can get a
got it.
permit.
That should be a relatively smooth process. If there's something that you find that really holds it up, there are a couple other legal avenues that you can explore that we'd be happy to help you with as well, like no build easements and covenants and things like that. But I think consolidation is probably the best way to go with that.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Carroll, anything in closing or otherwise before we adjourn here today?
Nope. I appreciate everyone's support and time for hopping on the call. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, let's leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials, the staff report. Based on the testimony I've heard here today from Mr. Carroll and from the neighbors and Mr. Lashide, I am going to approve the application. I think it would be impractical to strictly enforce the zoning code to this particular project, and so that's why this variance process exists. And I am going to approve the application. I need to formalize that approval in a written decision that I mentioned at the beginning. Typically takes about 2 weeks. I'll get that out to you as quickly as I can. As soon as I finish my written decision, I put it in the PDF. I email it to you as soon as I'm finished, so you guys will have a copy of it really just moments after it's complete. Once Mr. Lashide has that, he can approve the zoning permitting on his end, and hopefully you can move forward.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, great. But I wouldn't, if there's any, if you want to get this done as soon as possible, I think I would move forward on that consolidation now before You don't have to, there's no reason you have to wait for the decision before you start that process. So I would get on that.
Yeah, I'll call my civil engineer and have him, get on that right away.
Okay. Good luck. Thanks again to everyone. Have a wonderful day. We're adjourned.
Okay. Thank you.